Hello and welcome to Nollywood Fellow, a channel where I talk Nollywood. And today I'm going to be talking about the House of Ga. It has been produced and directed by Bolanle, Austen Peters, and written by Tunde Babalola, the same duo who gave us Fun Milayo Ransom Kuti last month. The House of Ga is a story about Ga, a Basharun or prime minister who becomes even more powerful than the king. How the greed and arrogance of this kingmaker and kingbreaker keep growing and how it impacts him and those around him are what the movie is all about. Now, the movie is narrated through the protagonist's son's point of view. Now, this son, who is the narrator, is a diametrically opposite character to that of the Basharun. So, this device helps bring out both sides to masculinity. The movie is an epic which touches upon all the important elements that an epic has. There's power, there's greed, there's love, lust, betrayal, you name it, it's there. But at the center of it is the play of power, both at a personal level as well as at a political level. You can see, for instance, a scene where a sex slave establishes her power on the most feared man in the kingdom. And talking about power, the film starts and ends with the Orun festival. Now, I did my little research, basically 2 minutes of Google, and what I got to know is that the Orun festival is central to the king and the Basharun, and it dictates the future of the kingdom on whether the king continues or not. So having that as the starting and ending point was very smart, I'd say. Another interesting device, of course, visually, is the coronation ceremony that keeps happening, which is very much in line with the play of power or the Game of Thrones, if I may say so. Tunde Babalola does a commendable job when it comes to keeping the screenplay tight, and he keeps throwing these sudden twists and hitting viewers with sudden twists when you least expect them, and it's been really well directed as well. With many Yoruba epics having come out in the past 2 years or so, this one definitely raises the bar. It keeps whatever has been working and it improvises on things that could have been improved. So all in all, it's a job well done. There are a lot of Yoruba cultural elements. There's a lot of supernatural and mythology, if I may say so, also woven into it. And in talking about the improvements, dialogues would be a huge improvement. They haven't gone overboard with the aphorisms and analogies and metaphors and all of that. I mean, they're very much there, and they should be there because they're a very integral part of the language, but they're not there in like regular conversations between two people. So that's a huge improvement. Another thing is that this movie does not waste time when it comes to diving into the plot. It goes straight to the plot, and also it handles all the complications and subplots very well. Doesn't leave any threads hanging loose. Visually, the production design and camera work, set, costume all come together to create this world of the House of Ga. Now, I'm not an expert, so I don't know about the historical accuracy, but as a viewer, nothing strikes odd or nothing seems to not belong to the era in which the House of Ga is set in. So shout out there. A huge shout out to the makeup guy, because there is a lot of blood and flesh, and even one scene where they pull out the intestines. All of that has been made really believable. I wish I could have said the same thing about the CGI. Now, the CGI, of course, does its job, and it isn't bad, but it is, it is rough around the edges. It could have been better. I'll just leave it at that. In terms of negatives, I guess a little more explanation would have helped. Like, for example, the first time the Basharun orders the king to commit suicide, it seemed to be so out of place for me. But then, because I did my 2-minute Google research, what I got to know is that at the end of the Orun festival, the Basharun gets to know if the deities have accepted the king's sacrifice or not, and if the deities have not accepted the king's sacrifice, then the king has to end up committing suicide. So but then everyone watching the film does not have to do a review and will not end up doing their 2-minute research. So I think that should have been woven into the story, maybe into the narration. That could have helped explain it a little better. Moving on to performances, this is a star-studded film. There are so many amazing actors. There's Bimbo Manuel, there's Funke Akindele, there is Femi Adebayo, and the list goes on. Most of them have small roles, so I won't really go into most of them. I'll talk about the main actors. Femi Branch, oh well, he ran the show as the egomaniac, the man drunk with power. He was reeking of arrogance. He was like nothing I've ever seen him perform before. A great performance here. Mike Afolarin, I'm glad that this young guy got a role that helped him showcase his talent, and it was a really demanding role, not only in terms of acting but also physically. There he had to fight, he had to ride a horse, and when I say fight, it's not like a punch here, a quick edit, a kick there. So it's like proper traditional martial arts, and he didn't excel in it, but he did his job, and he did a pretty good job. The only thing I feel somehow is that for some reason I feel Mike Afolarin does not belong to that era. I don't know how to put it in words, but if you get what I'm saying and if you agree, do let me know in the comments. Tosin Adeyemi as Zainab had another really challenging role. Her character goes from empowered to arrogant to helpless to it goes through all these different phases, and she is believable through all of it. In some scenes, however, I felt that she could have been a bit more emotive. Lateef Adedimeji, he's been a constant through Yoruba epics, and there are a lot of similarities you'll see here from his previous roles as well. But then there's a huge difference also, because here he is a troublemaker and he plays that drunkard troublemaker pretty well. That's about it. In conclusion, I'd give a huge shout out to Bolanle, Austen Peters, and Tunde Babalola for giving us another amazing movie in just 2 months. I know Funmilayo was released a lot earlier, but for us watching it on OTT, both have just come out in a matter of a month or two. So yeah, great job there. And The House of Ga is definitely worth your time, and it is among the best to have come out of Nollywood in 2024. That's it for this time. If you've seen the movie, do let me know your thoughts on it. Do let me know your thoughts on my thoughts on the movie. I really look forward to your comments, so do drop a comment or two. Also, don't forget to like the video, share, and subscribe. Till next time, this is me, Nollywood Fellow, signing off. Thanks a lot. Bye.